It
What's
is the
going on?
crossover.
Glad
What's
to be back.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm to Carl Williams, pay attention, and I'm with the GOAT of the coach
Carla Harris, let's get it.
already. So listen, it's player movement in the NBA, right?
Hmm.
But we're gonna take it to the WNBA first. Let's
Okay,
talk
okay.
about this WNBA, right? So one day I'm scrolling on Twitter. I see that the Phoenix Mercury coach says that Diana Taurasi didn't make the All-Star team, so it's not really much of an All-Star game.
Mm.
Now, with that
Wow.
being said, teammate and her player, Skylar Diggins Smith, is on the All-Star team. Skylar retweets the tweet and puts the clown face.
Mm, mm, mm. Shade. Boy, there's some shade on both sides of that table right there. Real shade. I mean, like, what's the dynamics of the locker room like if your coach feels that way? I think that was totally a biased, inappropriate statement for him to make. Even if you felt there personally, you represent a brand, you represent the team. You never should have said that, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, and it also, you know what, because a lot of times, we expect players that have been in the All-Star game for however long they've been in the league to still be there. But to be honest, it's a new crop of talent coming out. Those players that we're older now, you know what I'm saying? Like Diana Taurasi's in the class that I was in, that '04 class. I know how old I am, so she clearly is the same age as me.
Right, right.
And man, it's young talent in the league, and they're hungry and they're entertaining. And I mean, if the people voted for them, isn't that what the people want to see?
Exactly. Like you can't deny you cannot think that automatically because you're a 5-time, 6-time, 10-time, whatever WNBA All Star that you're automatically into the All Star game. No, you're not automatically in. You have to earn it like everyone else. And like you said, there is mad talent out there. We have to respect the young girls or the young ladies rather that are bringing that hard work and hard hat to the table every day and give them their chance to leave their own legacy.
Yeah, and listen, even mentioning Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird was able to grace the cover of NBA 2K, the video game. So they have both of them on the cover. Like those are two iconic women in the basketball game, as we know in our basketball world. So they're on the cover. When they start putting you on the covers, hey, that's respect.
I mean, not making this All-Star game does nothing in terms of hurting her legacy and what she means to the WNBA and to the women's basketball arena. Period. Like she's a Hall of Famer to me, regardless. In Connecticut, in Phoenix, in the WNBA, she's all of that. So for him to feel that way, it's to me it's saying that she's supposed to automatically get a bid when there are young ladies out there that really worked hard and earned their spot and who I can say are very entertaining. They can
Yeah,
do some things that maybe at her age she's not able to do at this time.
right.
And I hope she understands that and don't feel slighted and respects the fact that hey, my career, and she knows her career is coming to end. She's at the end of her career, and she should
Absolutely.
be okay with what she's done. She's done great for the game. She'll
Yeah.
be forever written in the books.
Yeah, I absolutely think she's okay with it. You know what I'm saying? When coaches do that and you're sliding a player that you have that's in it and that's your starting point guard, it's just ooh, we say point guards are an extension of the coach, so I don't know.
I don't know. Hey, there may be some trade rumors coming along soon. Maybe out of there soon. So we'll see. Keep my
Yeah,
eyes out for that one.
exactly. And you know what? Another thing I saw too was that Asia Wilson was being interviewed, and the person that was interviewing her asked her, why aren't you the face of the league?
Ah,
Yeah, like
wow.
that's a blunt question, and
I watched that interview. You're right. I did see that. Yeah.
yeah, and she
Yeah,
was like,
that was
"We know
interesting.
why." So it
Yeah.
goes back to what you're saying when we're like, you know, certain people shouldn't just automatically be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so
It may be time to pass that baton on. But she really hinted to something that I don't know if that coach at Phoenix was hitting on, but she hinted to something more racially motivated than anything else.
absolutely,
So I think Asia, who I think should definitely be the face or one of the faces of the league, because of what she can do and what she is doing for the league. Um, but how many times do we see women of color being a part of the face of the league? We generally see the Sue Birds, Tarasis and things of that nature. We don't see too
Brianna
many.
Stewart.
Yeah, Stewart, right? Are those all Connecticut players? Like
There
we
we
just
see what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? I'm just saying we trying to listen. Dawn has set the tone
yeah.
on the collegiate level as far as being the highest paid coach in the game, and it's only right that one of her players, if we're saying Connecticut is always the face of the league, like that thing might need to change, especially when the percentage is predominantly African
Oh,
American female. It's
yeah,
African American us. Like, we're the majority of the league. So why
yeah,
aren't we representing the face?
yeah. I
Shout, shout
agree.
out to shout out to James Scott,
Yeah,
president
and
and
hey, we
CEO.
appreciate you. Yeah, we appreciate you, Ms. Lane, Coach Lane, as we call her. Most of us
Yeah.
appreciate y'all support. But yeah,
James
definitely,
Scott,
we got to do it.
James Scott is the president of the GMGB League, which is a male and female basketball league, the only. He is actually the reason why I was in Atlanta doing the film Ebony Hustle. So shout out to Jay Scott.
Hey, that's what's up.
Yeah,
Welcome. Appreciate you, man. That's what's
yes,
up. But we gotta see. We definitely gotta see. Like you were saying about Dawn Staley, that trend and that shift. You got to think about the coaches who have been dominating. You talk about Gino. You talk about Vanderbilt at Stanford, and then you have Dawn Staley. So we definitely, I think her winning multiple championships now, and I mean her class, her recruiting class looks great again, which puts her in contention again to win another one. We definitely got to start paying attention, as you would say,
hey.
to the swing of things. How things are swinging.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Don was a winner as a player. Just overcoming obstacles, man. If you watch the ESPN 30 for 30 with the women, man,
Amazing,
phenomenal.
phenomenal.
Just to think of the sacrifice, you know what? To think of the sacrifice they made, some of them sacrificing making six figures overseas to come play and stay at home, train for a whole year, and make $50,000 and
Right.
be sleeping in like crazy hotels, and the travel is ridiculous. They have to bus to places, like that's a major sacrifice.
Yeah.
And I don't think they got enough credit for that part alone. But what she's doing right now is well deserving. When you sacrifice something for the greater good, I feel like God blesses you later. So that greater is right now, and she's reaping all the benefits as she should. Well deserving.
When you say greater, is later, greater, or greater later, and she's getting her greater right now. And I love how she is using her platform. Like she's not one to shy away from using her platform for good, as well as using her platform to motivate our brown and black and beige coaches, whether they're male or female, to encourage them that they can do the same things that she's doing. So I love that about her. She didn't get in that seat and just sit down and just, hey, I made it, and don't care about anybody else. But she's great with motivating and encouraging others to push for that those championship and those, that the right to be out there in the forefront for the women's basketball. I love it.
Absolutely. It's very important that you use your voice, because we all have one. She's not disrespectful with it, but just using your voice with the impact. And it's just like that's how it's supposed to be. That's what we're supposed to do. Like we're
She
not supposed to
clapped
be
back on. She clapped back on them. You come
you
on that
got to.
Twitter. She clapped back on them a couple times. I be laughing like,
Definitely got to hold your own. You know what I'm saying? Got to hold your own, because if not, people will run over you and just think they can do what they want to do until they know that you stand firm in what you believe in, and like you're not backing down from that.
yeah, definitely. And she got some great support. You say something to Coach Staley over there, like she gonna have some fans that's gonna clap back at you too, probably
Oh,
before she gets a chance to clap back at you. So she's got a lot of support over there in South Carolina, which I'm happy. I'm definitely happy for her to have it. Just
yeah,
represent. If she wins, we win. So that's what I look at it. How I look at it. Definitely.
absolutely, absolutely. But I gotta Joni Taylor at Texas A&M. We ready? We coming.
All
That's all.
right, I see the Aggies
Big on
trying to
the
make
Aggies.
moves. Hey, But
Big
as we
X.
transition, man, we talk about BG42. Like this is like over 100 days in detainment, and you see the new tweets going out and the new social media things going out, comparing her to the likes of LeBron James. If it was LeBron James, you guys would have did something already. I really don't like how that's trending because I don't think it's necessary to compare one to the other. We have military men, over there as well in captivity or detainment, however you want to look at it. We just need to get all of our Americans, out of there who are wrongfully detained for real. Like, don't compare her to anyone else. Or let's just stand together as
Correct.
Americans and get our political powers that be to go do what they have to do to bring her home. Because enough is enough. She said, I don't know if you saw that letter she sent to the president. Then a letter to the president talking about how she misses her wife, she misses her family, she misses being home, everything she's missing. Can he please do everything he can? She's an American citizen, like bring them home. So that was really heart wrenching, to read and to know like somebody's begging you to come and be the savior, like help me, you
Right.
know.
Yeah. Hey, listen, prayers that way for sure. Prayers that way for sure. Now, let me
Definitely.
tell you guys, we got a special guest in the studio. We about to bring her up. I don't like to introduce guests. I love for them to tell the story themselves, but I will tell you their name. Tamika Dixon, welcome to the show.
What's
Thank
up?
you. What's going on, ladies?
Hey, what's
Good.
good?
Good to
How
be
are
here.
you? How are you?
Good. I'm excited to be here with you, ladies. I'm well. Everything is good. As can be expected. Crazy times we living in, but all is well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
listen, I see the Kansas Jayhawk in the background. Let's talk about it.
right.
Yeah. Kansas alum. Graduated in 1997 from the University of Kansas, and some great times back then. Long,
Yeah.
long time ago.
Definitely enjoyed watching you on the floor doing your work, man. You were great out there on that floor. So yeah, definitely made your presence felt when you were on the floor. Great entertainment, everything.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. A lot of people ask where my name kind of developed from, and I had kind of like a playground swagger because I grew up, probably like most of y'all, grew up playing on in the parks with the boys. So a lot of that comes from that, just having that tenacity that you need to kind of be able to hold your own with the guys, and it just translated into the collegiate game, into my collegiate game, my game.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
talk to us about that. Playing with the guys, because I think pretty much all of us, if you played at a high level, definitely in college, like you've experienced playing with guys, and
Right,
they definitely try to, they be soft at first until you start busting them up, and then now they want to play all hard and serious. So talk to us
right.
about that. How did that truly help you when it came to now you're playing in college, you're playing against women? Like, did it make that easy for you?
Yeah, so for me, my journey started even before that. My father was a pretty darn good basketball player in his own way. So he would take me, when he would come home from overseas. He played 2 years in the league in the NBA for the Cavaliers, and then he played overseas in Argentina, Italy, and France. But when he would come home, the pro leagues, the summer pro leagues in this area was like premier, like City College and the Shore leagues used to have a lot of NBA guys that would come home and play in these leagues. So he would take me, with him. So my journey kind of started in the line with them, thinking I was doing a little something. And then then later on, he would start to add me. It would be like four of his guys and then me. So I
Mm,
start playing with them. And then, after that, it kind of translated to me just being in the parks with the guys. I grew up around a lot of guys that were my age that that's all we did. You
yeah,
know, I had the girls, the girls was over there playing double dutch and all of that, but I just
yeah,
never gravitated to that. I always was on the court with the guys, and it just kind of like it became kind of like a family type of thing. At first, they was like go over there and play with the girls, but then they saw me, starting to get good, and being able to hold my own with them. So they was like, well, just come on. Then I started being the first one that, was picked. So I was the first, quick.
So I got her first.
It's right. And so, it's probably a lot of our journeys, because it wasn't a lot of girls playing growing up. So in order for us to develop and get better and, be able to work on our games, that was kind of the story. You just go out and play with the boys and, they beat up on you and kind of hold your own.
Yeah, definitely. Well, who you say? I guess you said your dad, but would you say your dad was the most influential person in your basketball career and in your life overall?
Most definitely, most definitely. Like I said, I was around it really early, so I was around some really like legit hoopers, from a very very young age, and I kind of just gravitated towards that. But more so than that, I was able to see my dad's journey and like watch what it took for him to be good at what he did. And so then I kind of had like the cheat code, so to speak, because I was watching him and I'm like, all right, so in order for me to, be where I need to be, get where I want to go, I got to put that amount of time, that amount of effort, that amount of hard work into it.
Right.
So yeah, he was definitely the most influential person. And then, all the off court stuff too. He was an avid basketball fan. He was a Lakers fan in the 80s. So like we would watch all the Laker games in the middle of the living room. Like it was basketball all the time, basketball all day every day with this guy.
Right.
So, yeah, he definitely was the most influential.
That's awesome.
So tell us, what has the crossover meant in your life? We all experience a crossover some way, in the game, crossing people over, but what has the crossover meant in your off the court life?
So for me, the crossover in the game was actually my signature move. A lot of people kind of equate me to that move. But in off the court, I think it's just kind of like for athletes, the journey is, especially making it to like the professional level, the journey is a lonely one, because all you do is you play that sport, and that's all you've done for the remainder, for your whole life. That's what you wanted to do when you've reached that pinnacle of success. Then you retire at 26 or 27 or 20. And for me it was 33. I was fortunate to be able to have a 13-year professional career, but that's not like the norm. You know what I mean? So, the average lifespan of a professional athlete is like 4 years. Wow. So after that 4 years, then what, what's the next step after you've been giving your blood, sweat, tears to the sport forever? So for the crossover for me is like, just trying to find something you're passionate about after the game of basketball and being able to cross over into that and be successful in that arena. And it's a delicate, balance, but it's a struggle for a lot of people because like I said, you've been passionate about one thing forever. And now you got to like kind of pivot, cross over to something else, and like it's new territory. And then also you're behind the 8 ball too, because you haven't done the internships and you haven't done all of those things to kind of be able to progress in another career.
Right.
So you're like in the times and trying to figure it out. So for me, it's just trying to find that balance. I've been able to like stumble into entrepreneurship. It wasn't easy, and it was the first thing I've stumbled into. I tried a couple of things and that didn't work, and then stumbled into entrepreneurship. So for athletes, it's tough, but you can find it. You got to just be diligent and stick to it, which we know how to do that.
Right.
Definitely know how to do that. Mentally tough.
Yeah,
You don't be
absolutely.
anything else. You've been an athlete. You know how to be mentally tough and push through those times.
Yeah, for sure.
and you say you got into entrepreneurship. So talk to us about the entrepreneurship that you're involved in right now. Like, what does that look like? What does that entail?
So for me, and I'll kind of like share a little bit of my journey. So when I first retired, I done some. I was fortunate to be able to do some internships with the league, because I knew I was kind of on the tail end of my career, and I kind of wanted to get a jump start on whatever I was going to be doing. So they had some internship programs through the WNBA. I tried my hand at a few of them. It wasn't something that I really, wanted to do, but I wanted to. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I was open to every opportunity that came my way. So I did that, and I have like a little bit of a finance background. So right after I finished my last year overseas, I applied to Edward Jones as a financial advisor, and I got the position. And with it for a year and a half, a pretty good book of business and all of that, but it was really, really slow. Really wasn't what I was looking for, and it really didn't kind of like stir my competitive pot.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was like, I just stuck behind a desk and door knocking, cold calling, and I don't know about this, you know. So I went from financial advising to just basic insurance sales. And that was a little bit better because I had like a team of 10 people under me. I had built up a pretty good business, and, I was leading a few people. So for that, it was a little bit more, fed a little bit more of my competitive desire, but still wasn't what I wanted to do. And then I stumbled upon franchising. A high school friend of mine, her parents owned 10 Avises and Budgets, car rental franchises. And they were looking to sell off a few of their franchises and move down to Florida and retire. And they came to me and asked me, would I be interested in a franchise to buy a location from them? And that was kind of like what started my franchising journey. So I did that for 10 years. I actually just sold my location last January in the midst of COVID. COVID
Oh,
kind of
wow.
killed. Yeah. But like I was at a point in my business where I had done it all. Like I had taken my location to, I think, the peak of what it could be. And I was, again, us darn athletes trying to find that next thing that you could compete with. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm getting a little tired of this. And then COVID hit, and it kind of like it was I say it was God telling me it's kind of like, this is, you said you wanted to, you know, get out of this. So this is kind of like your exit right here. So I did. And now I'm just kind of trying to figure out what the next step is. I know you, T, I know you in the real estate space. I've been looking into investing, but the market is so crazy right now that I don't know if I want to jump in right now.
Yeah.
But I think that might be the next step.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
Hey, that's
always
very
a good
sad.
time for real estate. We talk about that. It's always a good, no matter how crazy it look, it's always when you can
Right.
get in, and then it's
Right.
going to turn up. Either way, you might have a downside, but it's always going to turn. You don't see too many unless they over leverage themselves.
Mm.
People that fail in real estate investment, because unless they over leverage, if you over leverage, then yeah. But if you get in right terms, it's gonna be all right for you.
I might need a little bit of mentorship.
Hey,
Gotcha.
Takara is the one. You got the GOAT right there, the mogul right there. So definitely in the right
Absolutely.
place. Definitely.
Absolutely.
And we definitely got you there, man. And being that you have the financial background and you work with Edward Jones, even the mortgage side of real estate may be something you want to look into as well. That's definitely another option. I carry both
Oh,
licenses. I have my real estate license and my mortgage license. So
yeah.
that's
Oh,
that
nice.
competitor. Yeah, that's that
Yeah.
competitor.
Yeah.
What else
I
can
didn't
I
know
get?
that. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
super.
So y'all definitely got to talk off air and see how we can move that thing for you.
For
But
sure. Sure.
Meek, what would you tell if you can go back and talk to your younger self? Like, what would you tell your younger self? What's some
That's a
advice or
good question.
words?
That's a great question. Um, what will I tell my younger self? I think if we're talking about a little bit of like the crossing over thing, I think I would tell my younger self to start earlier with a plan B.
Mm.
Because like when I was young and in the league, I thought I was going to do that forever. I'm like, I'm playing forever. This ain't
Yeah,
never gonna end. You 23, 24 years old, man, living in LA. The world is kind of like,
your oyster.
yeah, man. So I think if I had to talk to my younger self, it would be to prepare a plan B earlier in the game and not like at retirement. You know what I mean? When you know there's nothing else to do. I think I would say.
Yeah, that's deep. I mean, we always have to say, well, this is something I say when I speak to the youth is that the ball is going to stop bouncing at some time, so
Yeah,
you might as well start planning for that time. Not saying that you're
right.
planning to fail, but at some point, we're going to not be able to play the game at the level that we used to play the game. So we might as well prepare for what's going to be next, before it gets to that
Absolutely.
time. So that's good. That's good advice to give.
Definitely.
And you mentioned LA. I'm glad you mentioned that. Tell us, how was it to play in LA? And you won a championship in LA. So
Mm.
let's talk
Yeah.
about that. We talk about being on top of the world and like the world is at your fingertips. You are the epitome of that. So talk to us about playing in LA. What's that like to play in that market? Because it's crazy. It's bananas for sure. And talk
Yeah.
about winning that championship, man.
So we won two. We won back-to-back championships, and we won those championships the same year as the Lakers won theirs back-to-back. So the city was on
Crazy. Yeah.
fire. It was yeah. Can't even put it into words how crazy LA was at that time. But just being able to kind of play in LA, and I remember uh, when I got drafted, flew out to LA, and the first person I kind of actually met was Lisa, and I was kind of in awe, you know, like yeah, Lisa, I'm playing with Lisa Leslie, and playing with all these like Deidre Charles and just like legends that I had followed and watched, you know, watched them grow, and Lisa was coming off that the women's dream team kind of thing, so we
Yeah.
kind of followed that, and it was an amazing time, to be in LA. And I remember like even the first game at the state, it wasn't at the state, it was at the forum, excuse me, at the forum, and just kind of panning and viewing, seeing out in the crowd, and you looking and you got Tyra Banks and Denzel, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy. This is like fairy tale. They all coming to see you play, because they think you got something. So it was amazing. You just never knew who you was gonna see on the floor, who was gonna come out and support, and be a supporter of the Sparks. I remember, Tina Marie brought her daughter to the game, and she was like, "You're my favorite player." And Tina is my girl. I mean,
Yeah.
like I was like, this is crazy. So just moments like that, that you think about and you cherish. Um, but it was no better city to play in than LA. And then like I said, the Lakers' success and them being so supportive, and us being, having, that that connection, and Dr. Bus, and it was just, and he didn't hold any punches with us. He gave us whatever we needed, and to thrive, and be successful. And yeah, it was a cool time to be a part of that organization.
That's awesome.
Telling you,
Yeah.
man. I'm like, dang, LA championship run, the city on fire. I know y'all could go anywhere and get anything. I mean, I know
The
that's
clubs
that's
was
like,
crazy. I mean, it was, I could tell y'all some off. We can't get on the podcast. There's some stuff I can't tell the podcast. But before we take this offline, I'll tell y'all some stories.
I can imagine.
Amazing times.
I can imagine. Boy, that's it. That's the truth. What team did you play for, or what countries did you play overseas for?
So I 6 years in Italy. I played 3 years in the north of Italy. A team called Pozzuoli. Excuse me, not Pozzuoli was my southern team. My northern team was Rovereto. That was right by Milan. Pozzuoli was right by Naples. So I played 6 years in Italy. I played a year in Russia on the team Brittany played on.
Wow.
Yekaterinburg. Yeah, that was the team, the club I played on there. And then I played a year in Turkey for Galatasaray.
Ah, sweet.
Yep.
We got a question for you. Somebody want to know: have you ever considered coaching, like on a professional level, or coaching at all?
No. I get that every year. Somebody asks me to coach, and I really enjoy like teaching the fundamentals to young kids. I do a lot in my my little town, my little neighborhood. I kind of help build their little programs here. So I do a lot of that. But coaching is stressful. Listen. I applaud all the coaches that are out there giving value to these kids, and because I don't have that.
Especially if you played on that level.
Strengths, I know my weaknesses.
When you played on that level, it's like it's hard for you to accept the excuses or the poor effort or the the BS that some of these kids can bring to you. Like, what? So
Right.
it's really, I definitely understand. Hey, I'm in that, so I feel it. And it's like, what are you? And the parents making 100 excuses why they can't do this or why my child not on the court, but you don't understand. So
right.
I definitely.
Right. And the kids are a little different too than we were, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I think they
different
feel like they have way more rights.
Yes. Yes. Stuff that the way or can say today, we could never do or say back then. You just got to kind of take it. But I think that built like that mental toughness in us too.
Absolutely.
So it's good
entitled.
and bad.
Somebody, Jay Wigg said entitled, and yeah, they do. They come off as entitled, and it's hard to coach through that entitlement. I mean, I'm supposed to play. I'm the superstar. I'm, so it's tough.
Right. So the parents are important. When you have a young child, because you got to have those parents that's gonna ride with you as a coach.
Right.
If you got those parents that's always gonna ride with the kid, you in trouble.
Those parents, you know how important it is, and I'm sure your father did it too, is like to keep you level-headed. Like, because he played on a high level, so he understood. And I think a lot of parents don't understand that they have to keep their kids level-headed, humble, in other words, just to be able to be coached, and to play as be a good teammate. It's not all about you. So that's what we missing the point at a lot of times.
Absolutely. I agree 100%.
Yeah. And speaking of that, Meek, talk about what it takes to be a champion, because you're a champion and you're a back-to-back champion. So that's even harder. Doing it the first time, absolutely, but doing it the second time, what does it take to be a champion and then do it back-to-back?
Yeah, and I think the second time is a little harder because the target is on your back. So you're getting everybody's best shot every night in and night out. And it builds mental toughness for sure. You got to have a team of mentally tough people. And I think that the thing that kind of separated us with the Sparks was that we held each other at such a high standard. Like I can say anything to Lisa. We can say what we need to say and it wouldn't be taken out of context, or it wouldn't be looked at it in a negative way. Like we accepted constructive criticism. We did it to each other. But we just held each other at such a high standard. And then we worked and we competed as so hard in practice that when we when we come into the games, it was like it was like pickup games at
Yeah.
we used to, so if you had sat in on some of those practices, boy, we be right coming to, about to
Right.
fight.
Yeah.
It was that much competitive like fire in those practices, but I think it made us so much better throughout the season, and then just individually. And then I think the other thing is we were a little lucky, because you gotta, when you win championships, you gotta be a little lucky from an injury standpoint.
For
We didn't
sure.
have those, yeah, we didn't have those major injuries that sideline key players and things like that. We had some, but we were able to, to minimize it and ride the wave a little bit. So I think a little bit of, from a luck perspective, a little bit of luck is required, because you gotta, how injury can derail anything.
For
And
sure.
we've been, we were able to stay relatively healthy during those championship years.
I like what you said, and I don't want to put the words in your mouth, but if I could use one of my favorite words is accountability. Like you guys made each other or held each other accountable for doing their part or doing the work or working hard. And that's what we
Right.
miss, now. And a lot of our youth, they don't hold each other accountable. They're more or less worried about the person going to be my friend, or they're not going to
Yeah.
talk to me no more and all that crap. When,
Yeah.
you need to step up. You're not doing your work. You're not working hard in practice. You skipping
Yeah.
this. We supposed to be doing on this, and you skipping. Or you going easy, and you should be going harder. They don't do that. That's what we're missing a lot of times in this era.
Right. And if it comes from somebody that that you roll up your sleeves with, get dirty with every day, you can kind of take that. I take that with I take that better than I take from a coach, because I mean you right next to me. You right
Right.
next to me. If you see me, not playing to the best of my ability or not bringing it, and you tell me, if I respect you, I'm gonna do what I gotta do.
Right.
And so yeah, we definitely held each other accountable.
All right. We got another question for you. How do you feel about the state of the WNBA compared to when you played? And we appreciate these questions. So, what do you think about the state of the current WNBA up compared to when you were, winning championships?
I like where it's going. I really do. I think expansion is needed.
Mm,
It's a lot of like quality players that are sitting on the sideline because it's just not enough, you know, enough roster spots.
Right.
But some quality key people, some really good players. Where you got like your first round draft pick, getting cut. That's that's
that's
crazy.
crazy.
That's crazy. That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that we can kind of see some expansion in the near future. Get a couple more teams, and I think it's time for that. I think that the league is kind of deserving of that, and I think it's kind of holding its own financially a little bit, so you can kind of make those advancements now. Um, but I like where it's going. I really do. I love the league from a social justice standpoint. I think the women kind of
Mhm.
stand strong. And I always say, what would I have done if I was in that position? And I
Ah,
think they're doing exactly what I would be doing. You know what I mean? So I'm all for that. But I really like the direction of the league. I think it's going in a great position. The one thing that I think they could do a better job is creating that bridge between former players and the new generation of players.
mm-hmm.
Just more opportunities for us to integrate, with the new talent, with the new players that are, in the league, so they can kind of, understand the history, where this league has been, because if you don't know where you've been, how you know where you're going.
That's
So
it
Yeah,
right
for
some of
me,
it wasn't even born at the incept, during the time when it started.
Exactly.
Like it's crazy.
right. So I think if and I think the league, could really take some active steps to just put some things in place to allow that to happen. I think Vegas has done a great job. You know, the new owner there, Mark,
Yeah.
the
Mark
crazy,
Davis.
Mark
Yeah,
Davis.
I will be at alumni weekend. I went
Yeah,
last year. That is
you,
awesome, man. I'm telling you.
yeah, you do stuff like that. I think that helps to create that bridge. Bringing some of those former players back, letting them meet with the current players, and kind of build relationships there. I think he's doing an awesome job, and I think there's a couple of other organizations that have done some things, but yeah, I think the league, from a league standpoint, the WNBA itself could probably do a better job in that area. But from a league's perspective, I do think it's going in the right direction. I like it.
I actually thought all the teams did that too. So that's something selective that Vegas is doing. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he's actually the owner of the Las Vegas Raiders,
Oh,
and
Mm-hmm.
okay.
because they already do that on the football side, he brought that same thing to the basketball side. And with the Aces, it includes Utah Stars, San Antonio Silver Stars, and the
Right,
Aces. So if you play
right.
for any one of those organizations, he doesn't care if you play one game, 1 second, you're considered an alumni. Like that's
Oh,
Right.
big. That's
that's big.
major. That's
Yeah.
That's
major.
huge. That
It
is
is.
huge. Yep. It's
It
huge.
is. Talk about all expense paid. Like all expense paid, you and the guests come to alumni weekend. They really lay out the red carpet and like I'm telling you, pamper you. It's it's
That's what's
it's
up.
awesome. It's
Telling you,
awesome.
I was a little jealous. I'm like, damn, they doing it big over there in Vegas. They doing it. I'm looking
We
at
got those LA Sparks and Lakers to
I'm
jump
looking at LA
on
like, yo, what's
in.
going on?
What's going on over there? I know y'all got that money over there. Let's make it
We gotta
happen.
do something.
Now, but I think you make a great point, Meek, like being able to bring the two players together, or I could say cultures or time zones or whatever you want to call it together, so they can really, talk about how the game has transcended and they can know the history of the game. I mean, and respect, and understand who this league was built on y'all back. Like y'all really stepped in and really built the league for everybody. So yeah, kudos. I agree with that one. And somebody even said maybe some type of mentorship, because I know a lot of these young ladies, like you said, even what you were talking about, preparing yourself for life after the game, they may not even think about that. But if they bring some of you guys back in, you can start talking to them about that. Like, what's your post game plan? What's your post playing time plan? So yeah, I think that's great.
Yeah, and I can guarantee they probably never even thought about it until, they're probably they're gonna be like me, like I was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna play this game forever.
Yeah.
But I think if you put those people in front of them early, I know the NFL kind of does that. They bring
Yep.
some of the former players back, for orientation.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
you can kind of get a feel for, what you're gonna be going through, from somebody who's done it. And then, they can kind of prepare you for, what to expect. And I think that's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
They do
Well,
a rookie symposium. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
they'll do it with all the rookies. They bring all these people in and they talk about them from business and everything. Because when you do have that platform, if we knew to utilize that platform when you first got it, things will be
Yeah.
Right.
so much different. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not picking these owners' brains and these CEOs and CFOs because we have all the intangibles. Like you said earlier, we just don't have the experience as far as internship. But if you get in their ear early, they
Mm-hmm.
will lay it out for you because they know
Right.
that you have what everybody else doesn't.
Right. And just think about it now, like these players that are coming in, I know, the NIL deals and stuff
Oh
like that
God.
are early in stages. But I'm like, now it's a whole, like you got a whole brand when you enter. Like it's
Yeah. Yeah.
the gate, the floodgates are open. Like
Open.
I'm like, good Lord. I mean, I came in at a great time, but Lord,
If you was there right now.
I'm trying to work on that back pay. I'm just trying to see if we get some back pay going or something.
See, I went back to Kansas. I went back to Kansas a few months ago, and they kind of showed me like the layout, and started talking to me about the NIL deals and stuff like that. I'm like, oh my God, I would have killed it.
Yeah.
Like I would have killed it. So it's like a whole nother thing with branding and all of that. And these women don't know how good they got it. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah. These athletes right now,
Athletes,
overall,
period.
you have no reason why you can't create a brand, or you are a brand, and just build that brand and create wealth for yourself, like for real.
It's absolutely.
Man, only if the power of social media,
Everything.
YouTube, like
Oh my goodness.
we didn't have all that. Like they can just film their games, upload it, and you can go back and just watch it. Like you got to go get ours off of VHS, you gotta dub it. The quality not good.
I'm telling you, you got to rewind it a million times to get to it.
Hope the tape don't pop.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Oh my goodness. Times have changed.
We gotta build on. I mean, hopefully, we can continue to encourage, and people that are listening can encourage the players now to take advantage of what they have and to grow and build on it. So yeah, definitely.
So Carla, take me through the hot cross zone.
All right, so we have like a little hot cross zone. We call it 5 questions that we ask you at the end of the show, just to let's see if you can get them in. Right? You ready?
Okay.
First question is, what's your favorite food?
Oh, salmon.
Salmon.
I don't eat meat anymore. It used to be lasagna.
All right.
Now I got to go with salmon.
All right. Okay.
All right.
So you're gonna have this after you have your salmon. You're gonna have some dessert or no dessert?
I can have dessert.
All right, dessert. So, game of basketball. You like that fast pace, or you want to go slow and control? Which way you like it, fast or slow?
Speed it up.
You getting in their face. I remember that. You getting in their face. Point guard. You got to pick one. You got to have your point, or you got to have your post player. Which one you say? I'm picking first. I got to have my point or my post. Which one you got?
Oh, my point guard.
That's what we do.
All right. And lastly, so I don't know if you've been watching any of the games, but who do you feel is the front runner for the WNBA championship this year?
I like Vegas. I think Seattle will also be there too. Washington is coming up, so they may be Seattle, Washington, and Connecticut. But those are my 4. I know you said 1, but I think Vegas is number 1, and I think everybody else is a close second. But Vegas is they're tough. They're deep, and
they play well together.
They play well together. Becky got them running and gunning. I love her, boy. Yeah.
And they got great leadership. Aja Wilson is doing a great job. She's a champion, so she understands what it takes to win a championship. She's been coached by a legend, so I mean that's a great leader to have on the floor to lead them to a WNBA championship.
True, and then you got Chelsea too. Chelsea Gray, who won the championship in LA.
Oh, yeah, true.
So you got her, in the backcourt as well. So they got a heck of a chance, I think.
Yeah. Anything you want to leave with the people? Anything you want to tell us or tell the people about? Anything, whatever. You get the last words on, before you leave.
I just appreciate, being on the podcast with you ladies. It was fun catching up and just talking basketball. You don't get to do that with a lot of times with certified hoopers. So I'm appreciative of that. And thank everybody for tuning in. It was awesome.
Hey, if they ain't watch you play, meet trash talker, swag going. Hey, it was a pleasure to watch play, man. Y'all missed a treat. Y'all go back and catch something out there. I know something out there they can go catch.
Hey, appreciate it. VHS is on YouTube. That's for sure.
They started to download them too. They started to upload them. I should say upload them. They started to upload them.
For sure. Hey, we appreciate you so much, Meek. It was a pleasure, man. We definitely gonna link up though. T, we gonna get with her on that real estate. We gonna
for sure.
That boy, we gonna get with her on that back channel.
Sure,
we appreciate
sure. Definitely.
Y'all appreciate you for coming on, man.
Both of y'all in Florida?
Yeah, but look, it doesn't matter. Okay. We got a way that we can work together no matter where you are.
Yeah. Oh, I'm with it. I'm with it.
Let's go.
Let's get it. Let's get it. All right, man.
Definitely.
Appreciate you. Stay blessed.
All right, y'all too. Take care.
All
Take
right,
care.
have a good one. Oh man, listen. Talk about gyms. Talk
Yeah.
about determination. Talk about hard work. Like the intangibles.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
champion, the intangibles are the same. You have to show up every
Woo.
day. You have to be accountable, and you got to take constructive criticism if you want
Man,
to be the best.
if you want to be the best, you heard that from a championship player, a back-to-back championship player. So definitely, I love that. And I love what she said, which, something that I always talk about, but what's your plan after the game? What is your plan? No one's gonna be able to play the game forever. Look at the greats, Deion Sanders, Shannon Sharp, just so many greats out there that are excelling in some other things post the game. So we got to get that in our young athletes' head. Excel in this game as long as you can, but while you're in that acceleration, make sure you're planning for your post game life, post player life. So yeah, definitely. I like that she dropped that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm telling you, and it a lot of athletes go through a depression stage, if you want to say, because a lot of people don't know what to do when the lights turn off. They don't know when people not calling their phone how to react, and because
Right.
we've been so engulfed in our careers and our playing days that when it's not going the way you plan, it's
Right.
like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Everybody's telling you you don't have experience, and you feel as if you have all the experience in the world. So while you're on these platforms, I'm telling you, pick those coaches' brains, pick the GM's brains,
Network,
sports,
network.
everybody. Pick
Yeah.
everybody's brains and find your niche. Find your
Yeah.
niche.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Jay Wig, Coach Maurice, Lawrence, all of you guys. Man, we appreciate y'all tuning in and helping us out on this show. Share, share, share. Tell people about it. We want to continue to bring y'all some exciting guests, true legends in the game that can continue to drop gems and inspire people. No matter whether you're an athlete or not, but to inspire you, because no matter what, that the commercial used to be, we're all going to be professional in something other
There we go.
than playing the game, at some point.
Yep.
So, dang, I just love that so much. Hey, T, we had another great show, man. Another
Every,
great show.
one thing I like about it is, it's always authentic. A
Yes.
lot of people, go scripted and, want to control how it goes. But I like our natural flow. You can't beat authenticity. I don't
Yeah.
care how much you try to do it. I love that we're ourselves. Our guests can be their selves and share their truth. Because at the end of the day, people just want to know your truth and, inspire people along the journey. Hey, they go to marketing expert. Y'all can say what y'all want.
Hey, Mona, we appreciate you. Mwah,
That's
mwah.
the
We
marketing
appreciate
expert.
you. Yeah, definitely. The guru in the marketing. But yeah, we appreciate it. Definitely. We're gonna continue to be authentic, continue to bring you that good stuff. And as long as the Lord, leads and guides us and gives us the opportunity on this platform, we're gonna bring it to you. And we appreciate y'all. Till next time.
Yes, yes.
Hey, make sure you remember to use the game. Don't let the game use you.
Already. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. Have a good one.